Hello guys, welcome back to Coding with Bobby, and in this video we're gonna cover a very interesting topic of createSlice. How we can divide our global state into substates and create multiple slices out of our main state, and how we can merge our actions and reducers instead of in the separate files into one file. So we're gonna make use of createSlice. And createSlice, if you can read, a function that accepts an initial state and an object of render functions and generates an action creators for us, an action type. So it's automatically gonna create action types for us and action creators for us. This won't sound nice at the beginning, but when we'll go through the code, you'll get to know. So let's just dive into it. And src, we'll create our folder of Redux, and as usual we're gonna create a store.js, and we'll have our Redux provider.tsx and store.ts here. And we'll have our store.ts. There's some issue, 1 second, or I'll just directly delete it. I'll just create one folder file, store.ts, and then in store now we're going to define our state. What state we'll have? Let's just define in some comments. I'll have counter, which will have value, and I'll have one more state. This is one state, as Redux only allows one state per whole application, but these are substates. And name, and this will have one names list, like that. So now I'll create two different slices, one for counter and one for name, and these will have their separate actions and separate reducers. Now let's just create one folder, slices, and first we'll have counter slice.ts, and next we'll have name slice.ts. And we can just install npm install. Okay, I've already done it. You can also do npm install reactjs toolkit. It's already installed for me, so I can just import createSlice. Now I can just do const and counter slice, and which is gonna be createSlice. And we can also follow the documentation. We'll have name, then initial state, and then the reducers. Name is gonna be counter, and initial state is gonna be our value, which is 0. And then the reducers, this is the most important part. We'll define all our actions here. Not exactly the actions, but in some way. So first of all, our function is increment. This should increment our state value by 1. So this is going to take a state, and we can just do state.value plus 1, like that, simple. And then we're going to do decrement and state, and this will do state.value minus 1. And now this one is going to be interesting. We'll do increment by amount, which is going to take state and some action, and in this we'll take the payload and we'll add it to our state.value plus action.payload, like that. Okay, there is some like that. So we have defined our 3 actions, or actually 3 functions, and now we can see how this will return us this createSlice. It will return us a reducer also, an action also, and we can just do export const, and this will give me increment, decrement, increment by amount, and these will be my counter slice dot actions, like that. And I'll do export default, and I'll just do counter slice dot reducer. Now this might not seem to fall in place right now, but when we'll see another name slice and when we'll see it in action in our store, then this would be very clear. This is actually that we have created one reducer and action in the same file. Though we are not writing any switch statement here and we are not defining any typos, but this createSlice is itself creating a type for that action type itself. So now we'll just go to our name slice and we'll do the same thing. Import createSlice and const, we'll do name slice, and this is gonna be our createSlice. Name is gonna be name that we have kept, the same one, this one, and the initial state is gonna be names, which is a list, and suppose we'll give one Mohan inside at the very initial, and we'll have reducers. Now reducers, first one would be add name, and this add name will take one state and action, and this will just do state.names.push, and this will do action.payload, like that, simple. And we can do remove name. Remove name will have state and action, and again we'll do state.names is equal to state.names we can do filter, and inside filter item dot out of every name we'll just do item not equal to action.payload, like that. So this will be filtered out like that, so it will be removed. And now we can just export our actions and reducers. So add name, and this is going to be const add name, and then remove name from name slice dot name slice dot actions, and then we'll export default, and we'll just do name slice dot reducer, like that. So this way we have created actions and reducers for both our substate. One is for the name slice and one is for the counter slice. Now we'll move to our main store. Now in store, this is gonna be somewhat similar only. We'll just import configure store, and we'll just create one store, const store, and this is gonna be configure store. And inside configure store, we already know what we would give, and this is reducer, and here we can give all our reducers. So first I'll give name, and name will take my I'll just have to import these. Import name reducer from at Redux, and this will be name slice, slices, and then name slice, and then import counter reducer from at, and then Redux slices, and then counter slice, like that. This will be name reducer, and we'll have one counter which will have my counter reducer, like that. And we'll just export it, export default store, easy. So now we have already discussed in our previous videos as well that once the store is created, we need to create a provider, which is a gateway for linking our store to the React app. And if you can see, this reducer is now wrapping over both the states and creating it as a single storage or as a single source of truth. And we'll just create our Redux provider. For that, we can just copy it. I'll get rid of all these. We don't need those as such right now. And what else? Read only, I don't need that. Let's just keep it simple and raw. And I'll just copy it to my Redux provider. And I'll have to remove these, and this will be my Redux provider, and I'll do use client because this will include client side rendering instead of the server side, which is the default prototype of next.js. And I'll also import provider. We'll need to install React Redux for the provider, and we'll just do provider. So once we are done with this, I can just remove this children and some div, and then my provider will take the store. So we'll import the store, and store is going to be store. We'll just give in our children, like that, simple. So now we'll do in our layout, and in our layout we'll import Redux provider, and here we can put in our Redux provider, and we'll just give in the children, like that. And what else can we do? Now let's just try to run it once and see if our state has been loaded. I'll just remove these, we don't need those. And this whole return statement, I'll just get rid of this. We'll keep it simple and raw. And we'll just return dev and we'll have p, hey, like that. Let's just try to run it and see if we have got some errors or not. Okay, localhost, yeah, it's loaded. And let's check our dev tools. Okay, this one second, let's just check inside our inspect. Yeah, so you see now the slices that we have created, these two are the separate slices. One is of the name and which is containing the names list, and the default one is Mohan, and the other one is counter, which has this value, and that is initially 0. So this is how it is working. Now what we'll do, we'll just display our names over here, and we'll also provide some functionality to remove the names so that we can dispatch the actions. And we'll also have an increment button, decrement button, and a field that should take some number to increment by amount. So let's just write some HTML, and before that we'll have to import some use state. We'll see why we are using use state, and we'll also take use selector, use dispatch, right? This one is small u. Okay, and we'll import our actions. The actions are gonna be increment, yeah, this one, decrement, and increment by amount. And we'll also import add name, and we'll have remove name, like that. So now what we can do is, first of all, let's grab the values. So my first value is gonna come from my name slice. So we'll do use selector, and this takes a state, and then we'll return it state dot name, not name, dot counter dot value, like that. Simple. Okay, state is of type unknown. We'll just put it as any. I don't want to define the type right now, and let's just see if we are able to print the value. Okay, yeah, we need to use the use client, as this is making use of React hooks. Yeah, it's working fine. So what we can do is we can just do counter, which is equal to this, and we'll also take the names. Const names is equal to use selector state any, and see, this use selector has already got the access to the state of our application, so it can access whole of the state. So it will get state.name.names. So it will give me the name and then the names, this whole list. And how we can do that? We can just have one strong names strong. I'll just get rid of this and names, like that. And we'll create one list, and inside it names, and for the names I'll just map, and this will be item and index, and this will return me a list, most probably, yeah. And inside this list I'm just gonna print it will have one key, which is gonna be my index. And what is it? Item is declared, but its value is never used. Okay, no issues. And we'll do item, and we'll also have one button error, and button is for remove. And we'll define on click. On click will do handle remove name, and we'll have this function. We'll create it over here. Yeah, we can define it over here. Const handle remove name. I'll just let it be for now, like that, simple. Let's see what the error is. Parameter item explicitly has any type, and I don't mind that. Yeah, any, like that, simple. And okay, let's just check if it's working fine. Yeah, Mohan, right now it's not doing anything. Cool, this looks fine for me. And what else can we do? Now let's just write this handle remove name. So this handle remove name, it should be dispatching some action. So we'll have an object of useDispatch, and we'll do dispatch, and this will also send me, this should send me the name. So it will do handle remove name, and this will send me the item, right? Item, and one second, item, which is a string, yeah, and this is a string we can define, yeah. And dispatch, this will dispatch remove name, and inside remove name payload can be any, so I'll just give in the name item, like that. So let's just check this if it works fine. Remove, yeah, it's removed. You can see name, remove name. Now see, this name shows us the slice and this remove name shows us the action, right? And what we'll do, we'll have an input field so that we can take in some names and we can add it. So let's just do it. Names ul, it's sending here, and we'll just have an input, and input field will have we'll have to create one variable for it, const name set name use state. It's better to have one use state variable, local state variable, when you are using some input field. And so the type is gonna be string, and after that the value is gonna be our name, and on change is gonna take event, and then we'll just set the value, and we'll just do set name e dot target dot value, like that. And then again we'll have one button, and this is add name, and this, what it will do is on click, and we'll have one function handle add name. So we'll just create this function over here, handle add name, and we'll just see. So whatever the name that we are typing in here, we are setting it to our name, like that. See, so we'll check if name.trim, yeah, if name, and I don't think there should be an issue with the name. Yeah, name, and handle add name. Okay, handle add name, yeah, the function name was different, yeah. If name dot trim is not equal to, if it's not empty, if user has typed in something, so what we'll do, we'll just dispatch remove name, and remove name should have some payload, and this will be my name. And after that I'll just set name. Oh god, I've got some error, I'm not getting set name. Why is it not able to access it? Const name set name, and dispatch is showing me some error. We can just minute names dot map, names is this one. So we'll just do the, yeah, we'll just have just done some undo operations, and we have got back to our input from where we started. Text and handle add name, I'll just create handle add name, and we'll just check if name dot trim not equal to empty. In that case I can just dispatch my remove name, which is going to take name payload, and then I'll set name as back to empty. And now let's just check this if it's working. Add name, okay, it's compiled. Let's get back, reload it. Yeah, we've got it. I'll just get our Redux again. Yeah, name, So what we'll do now, we'll just try to add some name, Mohan, and we'll add Rohan. Yeah, okay, Rohan is not added. Why is it that? Okay, because we are dispatching remove name, so we should do add name like that. Okay, so I'll add Rohan. Rohan is added. I'll add Sohan. Sohan is added. I'll add John. John is added. And you can also see the action history, and we can also remove and remove like that. And we can see the tree of the state as well, and as a chart as well, and we can also see the differences like that. Now we'll move on to the counter, and we'll try to use the counter actions, how we can make it interactive. So what we'll do, we'll just have one, suppose we'll create one div for it, and we'll keep all this separate inside a div, and I'll just create few buttons. Button on click, which is gonna take handle increment and increment, and we'll just do increment, and we'll do create a function to handle the increment, and we'll just dispatch and increment. That's it. Boom. Let's just check this. Increment works fine. Yeah. And similar way, we'll just create one for the decrement. Handle decrement, and this will be decrement. We'll need to create it similar to the above one, and we'll do dispatch, and we'll do decrement like that. And let's just create one input field if you want to increment by some amount. Input and input field, it's gonna be type is number, and value is gonna be let's just take one more local variable, const amount, and set amount, use state, and this will be our amount, and we'll do on change, which will be an event, and we'll set it to set amount e dot target dot value, e.target dot value, and okay, this is a string, so we need to parse the integer part and parse int like that. And we'll have one button, and button will be add to counter, and we'll have an on click event, and on click will handle amount add. We'll create a function for it, const, and we'll just check if amount is not equal to 0. Then what we can do, we can just do dispatch increment by amount, and let's just check this function once. Increment by amount, we are taking action dot payload. Okay, so in that case we can directly give in the amount, and this amount, I'll set this amount at 0. So let's just run it once. So we'll do increment, it's working fine. Decrement is working fine. I'll just set suppose 8 to 12 and 20, it works fine. And we'll add some name, Harish, works fine. And we'll remove Mohan, works fine. So this is all about our slices, how we are managing our substates, or we have divided our state into two substates, and we have separated their actions and reducers into their separate single files. So this is the main use case of using slices, and in the upcoming video we're gonna create a full-fledged to-do app with Material UI, which is gonna look great, as well as the front end, and we'll make use of full Redux and React, and we'll build it from scratch. So stay tuned. Thank you.